Aloha, I'm Erin Evans, and welcome to another episode of Selling Hawaii with American Dream TV. Welcome to 756 Mokulua Drive here in Lanikai. I'm so excited for you to tour this home with the Queen of Lanikai herself, Alicia Barnes.
So, I think we'll be on the market just for a short time more, and then we should be ready to move it with its new homeowner.
Yeah.
We have the best beach. And the neighbors are so friendly. Everybody loves Lanikai. Thank you so much, Erin. So nice to see you, and I'm sure we'll have new buyers here soon. And welcome to Villa Saluna.
I decided to create an organization called Hoola Nuipua, which means New Life for Our Children. And we work on the prevention side, but then we also provide direct services and care.
Welcome to the American Dream TV. This is a real show, not a reality show, based on lifestyle, culture, and real estate, where we go to your city across the country. I'm your host, Amy Scruggs, and we have a fantastic episode lined up for you, and we're gonna get it started right now.
The search is over, baby. I'm right here, and I got it.
Aloha, I'm Erin Evans, the broker and owner of Century 21 Island Homes. We are here to honor and highlight the beauty and culture of the island.
I got it.
And I'm so thrilled to share bits and pieces of Hawaiian history, celebrate our local talents, and of course, feature incredible real estate here on Selling Hawaii. Aloha, I'm Erin Evans, and welcome to another episode of Selling Hawaii with American Dream TV. Today, we're not only going to be talking about real estate and the lifestyle here in Hawaii, but we're going to address a very serious and real issue that we have here on island, which is child sex trafficking. Today, we're going to tour a fabulous oceanfront property in Lanikai, and then we're going to be here at the Koloa Distillery with Jessica Munoz, who's the founder of Hoola Nuipua, who will talk to us more about what is happening right here in our local community.
When you ask me how I'm doing on this Tuesday afternoon, I'll say I'm fine.
Aloha and welcome to 756 Mokulua Drive here in Lanikai. I'm so excited for you to tour this home with the Queen of Lanikai herself, Alicia Barnes.
Aloha.
Hi.
How are you doing, Erin?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you for coming. Welcome to Villa Saluna.
Okay, so Villa Saluna, I feel like this has a story.
And here it is, the sun and the moon.
Sun and the moon, where the sun meets the moon.
That's right, with a beautiful art piece in the center.
Wow.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. These windows are amazing.
I know, I love it here. It's so quiet.
But I love that when you walk in through the entrance, you see ocean.
I know.
Like it just flows right through.
And Lanikai has the most beautiful blue water, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's so pretty.
So what are you listed at?
We are listed at 7.2. And, Lanikai, as everywhere, the market's crazy. So, I think we'll be on the market just for a short time more, and then we should be ready to move it with its new homeowner.
Yeah. This kitchen is a chef's kitchen. It's huge.
It is. It's so spacious, and the whole thing faces the ocean.
It really does, which is so amazing.
It really is. So some of the great features, wine fridge.
Wine fridge, of course.
Yes. Melee appliances. And then we have great drawer spaces. So we have the regular drawer and then the little drawer.
I love these.
I do
So
too.
efficient for space.
So efficient. And every house needs that, don't we?
Yes. I love that you have the Miele appliances carried throughout.
We do. Right down to the warming drawer.
Warming drawer?
Yes. Everything is just as clean as it can be because this homeowner doesn't cook like me. The kitchen is relatively unused. Okay, so shall we go outside?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a great place for outside entertainment. We have dinners out here, lots of cocktails out here, and it's always nice and it's protected in here. We don't get a lot of wind for some reason.
It's great for your morning coffee.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the morning coffee.
Morning coffee, you're just thinking
Or
about the
morning
wine.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So really, when people come out to Lanikai, this is what they're living
Yeah,
out
this
here
is what
for.
it's about. Outside living, right? Indoor, outdoor living.
So Alicia, you personally live in the neighborhood. So what are some of your favorite aspects about living out here?
Oh my gosh, I love this neighborhood. There's so much. We have the loop. It's 2.3 miles, so everybody walks it, runs it, bikes it. It's so fun. We have the country club, Mid-Pac Country Club, with golfing, and they redid the pool, and the restaurant's good.
Yeah.
We have the best beach,
Of course.
and the neighbors are so friendly. Everybody loves Lanikai.
all about the lifestyle.
All about the lifestyle.
So how about we go back and you finish touring the house?
Okay.
I'd love to see more.
Look at this.
I love
This is one of my favorite parts of the house. Isn't it beautiful?
It really is.
Alrighty, so let's go see the primary.
All right.
So it's a big suite. We have
Wow.
a nice sized bedroom with a fireplace, an ocean, and a den. And the bathroom is in there, so she put this beautiful piece here so that you can still, while you're in the bathtub, see the ocean.
Brilliant.
I know, she's quite creative.
You can tell just the style and taste throughout. She has an eye for...
She does, she's very good,
Yeah.
very good.
Let's go take a look at the ensuite bath.
Oh, yum. You're going to really love it. It's quite cozy. So these doors can be closed for privacy. And then here it is with your ocean view.
This great jetted soaker tub and then your
Yeah.
separate step-in shower.
Exactly. And to finish the tour, let's go see the other two bedrooms.
Yeah.
Shall we cross our bridge?
Let's cross the bridge.
I love the bridge. I stop here every time. Okay, so we have one more ocean front. Very pretty, lots to see. And then we have the bath in between the two bedrooms up here. And it has dual shower heads. It's got a little skylight, great windows, quite pretty.
It is.
Yeah.
And then last but not least,
Last but not least, we have our one more bedroom and nice big closet space and beautiful foliage out the window.
wonderful. Alicia, thanks so much for the tour today. What an amazing property, and we really hope that your new buyers enjoy it as much as these owners have.
Thank you so much, Erin. So nice to see you, and I'm sure we'll have new buyers here soon. And welcome to Villa Saluna.
Hi Ian, thanks for having us today on the whiskey and chocolate tasting. We're so excited to be here. I hope you don't mind. Brought a few friends of my team, Kaylee, Renee, and Nicole. And nice to see you, Jessica, as always.
Nice to see you as well. Welcome, ladies.
So Jessica, we would love to hear a little bit more about Hoola Nuipua because you have been here doing some really great things for so long on island. Can you share with us a little bit more about the history and how it became?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's my pleasure. So about 13 years ago, I was working in the emergency room and I started seeing our local kids come in needing care. Oftentimes they were coming in with law enforcement, social workers, coming in with their perpetrators, and we weren't recognizing that they were victims of trafficking and exploitation. And at the time, it wasn't really an issue talked about in the United States. We knew about trafficking being overseas, but not a real in-depth understanding that every single day in communities across this country, there are little girls and boys being sold for sex. After seeing all of this, I thought, okay, something has to be done, because when I would call entities to try to find help for these youth, there just were no services. And so I decided to create an organization called Hoola Nuipua, which means New Life for Our Children. And we work on the prevention side of preventing this issue from happening, but then we also provide direct services and care. One of the big things that we saw early on with this population was that there was no comprehensive residential treatment center for girls who'd been exploited. So we were locking girls up, we were putting them into detention, we were putting them into foster homes, but there was no treatment, there was no comprehensive treatment. And so I had a vision to create this place called Pearl Haven, which, as we now know, is a 13-acre campus, state-of-the-art facility where we provide on-site schooling, mental health care, animal-assisted programming, art, music, dance. And it is a live-in treatment center where our girls are for 9 to 12 months. We have girls that are right here from Hawaii, but we have girls that also come from the mainland. Nationally, there's less than 600 treatment beds in America for children who've been trafficked.
Beds,
Yes.
not facilities.
600 residential treatment beds.
Wow.
And there's about 100,000 children that are trafficked every single year. So we have a significant amount of work to do so that we ensure that more kids have access to this level of care.
So it takes a village, and obviously first step is bringing awareness and increasing awareness here in the community. So if there was any type of suspicions to report, where would they call? Who would they call?
So I always tell people the most important number that you can call is the National Human Trafficking Hotline. It links to wherever geographic location that you're at in the United States. That number is 888-373-7888. And you don't have to know for sure it's trafficking. I always tell people, if you see something, say something. And even if you're wrong, it's not your job to prove it, but it is your job to say something.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Jessica. Obviously, our goal here is to bring a lot of awareness, and doing so, we get to partner with some really great members in the community, such as Ian Brooks here at the Koloa Distillery. So I'm so glad he's alongside with you, and we could all hopefully make a difference together.
Aloha, Erin, and welcome to Koloa Distillery. I did want to take, before we go ahead and start our tour, I'd like to take a little second and talk about Jessica and what we do for her in the community. What we do is very little. We try and go ahead and donate as much product and money as we can to go ahead and support that. I do have 2 daughters at home, and I couldn't imagine anything like that happening to them. Being a retired Marine of 24 years, I know what a hero is. I've seen heroes. I think it's a word we use too much nowadays in society, but Jessica and her staff are truly heroes. I know everyone has different charities they like to give to, and we have a few here, but one that we're most proud of is supporting her and her charity. And if you can in any way support her, it is definitely money well spent, and it is one of the noblest causes. Let's start our tour now. So, welcome to Koloa Distillery again. We love our tour here. Maybe if you went ahead and took a tour, possibly the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky. Highly advise it. Those are the giants on which the shoulders we stand. However, a lot of those tours are going to tell you what great-grandpa did during Prohibition. We obviously don't have that history here. We've been around for a little bit over 4 years, and but what we have right now is we have science on our side. And that's what I'm going to take you through. If you look up here, these are the 6 phases of distillation. And I'm going to take you through all 6 today. First being the ingredients. We only have 3 ingredients in our whiskey: corn, barley, and water. Both of my daughters are 10 and 12, and they're into Harry Potter right now. So what I do is, I was talking to them, I was like, Daddy does magic. I'm like, what? It's like, I turned corn into whiskey. And they're like, that's not magic. I was like, come back and see me when you're 21. So, I'm actually gonna take my 3 ingredients, I'm gonna put them together in what's called a mash. And it's simple science. I'm gonna go ahead and boil my corn and barley, and what is produced from boiling a starch is sugar. Once I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and take my sugar, I'm gonna add some friends, and they're gonna do the heavy lifting. My friends are the yeast. The yeast is gonna go ahead and actually eat that sugar that I've produced, and the byproduct is ethanol or alcohol. I'm gonna take it out by distillation, I'm gonna put it in a barrel, I'm gonna go and age it and make it a little bit more tasty. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bottle it. And there's a 7th phase, which is drinking it, and you're gonna get all 7 phases here today. Come on back here.
Is the 8th phase a hangover?
No, ours never gives you a hangover. Our first ingredient is corn. Little known fact, Hawaii has a $110 million corn industry here. It's one of the exports that we have. It's actually a seed corn industry, so they actually make it here, make the seeds, ship it to places like Iowa, and they actually, those big cornfields, you know, when you see in the baseball movies, they actually start here in Hawaii, which is kind of cool. So, we are not 100% local corn yet, but we do use local corn in everything we make. The reason we're not 100% just yet is it's a processing issue. We just got somebody on island to actually start doing the processing, because you can't always take the wet corn and turn it straight in. You need to dry it out at certain stages. You got to get a certain amount of sugar content. So hopefully in the future we will be 100% local corn. Our next ingredient is barley. This is a Breeze barley from Minnesota. You can't really grow barley. I'm gonna pass it around so you guys can go ahead and smell it. We don't really, you can't grow it here in Hawaii, so we get the best of the best and we have it shipped in here, and we use 10%. That is our mash bill, or our, if you will, recipe. It's 90% corn, 10% 2-row malted barley. Now, if you have had Old Poly Road whiskey, what we're looking for is a smoothness. We don't use rye, so we want a real smooth whiskey, so it's gonna go ahead and match the environment. I live in Hawaii. I sweat getting out of bed. Last thing I want to do is give you guys something that's going to go ahead and make you warm, right? So same concept. If you go to the beach, you're probably not going to take a milk stout to the beach. You're most likely going to go ahead and bring something that matches, you know, a Corona, something light, something that's going to go ahead and match it. Well, that's what we're trying to do with Old Poly Road whiskey. We want something that matches the environment. So when we were doing our testing, we had to be able to drink Old Poly Road in 3 places. One was Mile and I, one was Castles Beach, and the other was out in the sandbar out in the middle of Kaneohe Bay. For you guys, not for me, I did all this testing, yes. And this can be drank in the hot sun, because that's what we're gonna do. Here in Hawaii, it's warm all year round, and that's what we want. We want hanging our hat on the smoothness. So, if you look up there, those are white American oak barrels. We get ours from the barrel mill in Minnesota. And they have a char number 3 on the inside. That means somebody has gone inside like this and burnt the inside of the barrel. And that char is gonna go ahead and give you flavor, and it's gonna give you coloring. And we use a char number 3. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that, what you just tried, the hearts, we're gonna blend it with some water, and then we're gonna stick it in those barrels. Once it goes in the barrel, what happens is, through time and temperature change, the whiskey is gonna go into the barrel, into the wood, and it's gonna leave stuff that you don't want in your whiskey, fusel oils, sulfur, sulfate, different things like that. And when it's going in and out, it's gonna go through that charring, which is a natural filter, and it's gonna go and pick up color, and it's gonna pick up taste. And through time and temperature change, it just keeps going. If you leave it in a barrel, it does age, and the concept is as it stays in the barrel, it keeps getting better and better, but there is diminishing returns. If you leave it in there too long, it's gonna get too many tannins, too much oaky flavor, and that's gonna overwhelm what we've got. So we have to make sure we're pulling and dumping barrels at the right time. Once we go ahead and dump and pull the barrels, then we're gonna go ahead and proof it all the way down to 86 proof, and then we're gonna bottle. You guys wanna go ahead and bottle some whiskey?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. So, I'm gonna take you through how I really like to taste a whiskey. The first thing you wanna do is you wanna go ahead and inspect your glass. First off, hopefully nothing's floating in there. Nothing's there. And you're gonna look at the color. This is a nice warm color, so I'm thinking that this is gonna be a nice, warm, but not overwhelmingly smoky whiskey. So, the other thing you wanna do is you wanna go ahead and swirl your glass around. And as you're swirling your glass around, you're gonna go ahead and notice stuff sticking to the sides. Those are your oils from the barrel that have made it all the way through the process. That's liquid taste. So, if you're ever served something that doesn't do that, somebody's watering down your whiskey. Make sure.
Ooh, good to know.
It's the same concept as if you go ahead and do a wine tasting, the legs that stay on the glass. So, the next thing is we're gonna go ahead and nose it or smell it. Eric and I, being two retired Marines, are required to do two things. One, argue about everything, and the other is never agree on anything. So, when we first started describing what we thought this smelled like, we couldn't convince the other person what it smelled like. We waited until Whiskey Advocate came out. It's an industry magazine. And the industry magazine came out, and first they said we were top 15 whiskeys under $60 in the US, which was pretty amazing. And the next thing they said is we smelled like a kettle corn, which is a nice sweet corn smell. Hopefully that's what you're getting right now. We're gonna go ahead and just put a little bit on your palate, and you're gonna breathe in at the same time. That way you're gonna get the full body of it, and then go ahead and take a drink. Cheers. Come by. First off, nobody did the whiskey shiver. What did I do last night? Shiver, yes, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm hoping you get on the next thing, once again, the culinary arts, alcohol, making all these beverages is about you guys, not me. It's about, I know what I like and what I make and what the taste should be. If you don't get the same thing as me, that's great, okay? If you get something different and you like it, that's even better. If you don't like it, Eric made it. Just kidding. So, on this one, what I'm hoping you get, I hope you get all the notes of a good bourbon. You're gonna get the tannins or the oaky flavor from the barrel. You're probably hopefully gonna get some vanilla, cinnamon, caramel, all the notes of that good bourbon. And then what I hope you get is the star of the show shows up, the distiller. Just kidding. What do we talk about? The star of the show is the water here in Hawaii. It is the best water in the world. And that's gonna give you a nice, smooth finish. And we have been referred to as dangerously smooth, because one turns into three real quick. Kampai?
Kampai.
Cheers.
Well, thank you so much for having us today, Ian. We know so much more about distilling whiskey than we did an hour ago. We had a lot of fun. Yeah. And thank you for joining us on another episode of Selling Hawaii on American Dream TV. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Cheers. Aloha, I'm Erin Evans, the broker and owner of Century 21 Island Homes, and we have a really fun lineup today on this episode of Selling Hawaii.
Whether they want to go out in business and start their own business, or they want to, go into the world of leadership, to always remember your roots. And that's really your foundation.
100 murals with like 120 artists over a period of a week. And now we do this project globally. Like we have festivals all over the world in like around 20 cities at this point. But then we're all from Hawaii. This is our hometown, and we always try to find ways to give back.
And until the next episode, aloha. Aloha, and thank you for joining us today on this episode of Selling Hawaii with American Dream TV. First, we're going to take a property tour of this amazing home listed by Jill Ward.
We have this wonderful living space with this amazing view of the ocean.
And then we're going to take a look at some of my favorite Hawaii-made products with some of our local business owners. And last but not least, we are going swimming with the sharks with world-renowned shark conservationist Ocean Ramsey herself.
Aloha and welcome on board with One Ocean Diving. We're going to go out and teach you guys all about sharks.
Welcome to Resort Living, located in Ko'olina Hillside Villas. This 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath unit shows like a model home. Upgraded kitchen has new cabinets and stainless steel appliances and opens up to the living area. Main level has wood-like tiled flooring with plush carpet on the staircase and the upper level. Outdoor private lanai is in a great location next to the community pool, and this home is turnkey, ready to move in. Two homes are located in the Montecito, Tuscany neighborhood of Eva Beach. This first home has an open floor plan with newly installed vinyl plank flooring, spacious primary bedroom with a walk-in closet and a private lanai. Kitchen has stainless steel appliances and ample cupboard space. With 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths, this home has a 36-panel photovoltaic system, 2-car garage plus 2 driveway parking, and fenced-in landscaped yard. Plantation shutters throughout in close proximity to the community swimming pool and additional guest parking. This next 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath home has open concept living and kitchen area and features brand new carpet, fresh paint, as well as waterproof vinyl planks in the kitchen. The outdoor features include a private fenced-in backyard, flagstone patio, 2-car garage, plus additional spacious extra third parking. Conveniently located to the Eva Beach Laulani Shopping Center for all of your needs, to include groceries, pet care, dining, coffee shops, and more.
We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of the American Dream TV, where we featured the best in lifestyle, culture, and real estate. Make sure and follow us on social media and engage with us in the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. I'm your host, Amy Scruggs, and we look forward to seeing you next time. But in the meantime, cheers to your American Dream.